Now we have Warful writes in, are you working or planning to do any more short films for Invincible, specifically for the really fast tracks, such as 2000 Watts, Heartbreaker, Unbreakable, and Invincible?
Absolutely. And she said, whoever said that said the right word, and they said short film.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we try to make them, short films, a beginning, a middle, and an ending of a story, to take the medium to a new level. But absolutely, there's like just an array of an encyclopedia of just great short films to make from the album. It's very exciting. I can't wait to do Threatened, which is the kind of scary one with Rod Serling from The Twilight Zone.
Fantastic.
You know, I can't wait to get my hands on that one.
We have a question here from Napoleon III. Says his name is George, really. And then it says, Michael, I think this is your most cohesive and impressive album since Thriller, or really off the wall. What are some of your most memorable moments while recording the tracks for this album?
The most memorable moments were, it was, of all my albums, I would say this one was the toughest, because I was hardest on myself. I wrote so many songs, I don't even want to say the number. just to get to, how many are on there, 16? Just to get to the 16 that I think are acceptable. And it's the album where I didn't have children before the other albums, so I caught a lot of colds, so I was sick a lot. Because my children had colds.
Right, little incubators of viruses.
So we had to stop, and start again, stop and start, and it was a tough one. But I've enjoyed it very, very much.
Now, when you describe yourself as being tough on yourself during the recording process, how does that, what is the process that you go to? If you think something isn't quite what it ought to be, or maybe you could do better, or you hear maybe you want to move something in a new direction, what is that like?
If I truly told you, I don't know if the fans would like me anymore. I've had musicians who really get angry with me because I'll make them do something literally several hundred to 1,000 times until it's what I want it to be. But then afterwards, they'll call me back on the phone and they'll apologize and they'll say, you were absolutely right. I've never played better. I've never done better work. I outdid myself, is what they'll say. And I said, that's the way it should be because you've immortalized yourself. This is here forever. It's a time capsule. It's like Michelangelo's work. It's like the Sistine Chapel. It's here forever. And everything we do should be that way,
So try to bring it to the best possible standard that it can be.
Absolutely.
Now, Sweet Pea 4286 wonders, are there any surprises on the new album?
Any surprises? Boy. I think it is what it is, and you can interpret it the way you want to interpret it. But that's all I can say about that. Other than some, maybe we'll be releasing some surprise CD singles at some point, something like that. Yeah, in the future though, that's coming up.
Very good. I wanted to ask you, just as a performer, recently you've done a couple of shows. You did a couple at Madison Square Garden, and you did a show at RFK Stadium, a benefit concert. And, obviously, live performance has been one of the things that has distinguished you, throughout your career. And you'd been off stage for a while. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about what it was like to be out there again in front of an audience and, getting that opportunity to perform again.
It was hard to explain. It was quite exciting to feel the audience and to see them and to be accepted so warmly by them. It's just an incredible feeling. It really is. They're there to support you and to love you and to hear their favorite songs, and just stand there and they're just, giving you so much adulation and love and hysteria. It's just full of love. It's wonderful. It's very emotional. It brings me to tears. It's wonderful.
I remember in your book you described that, like, sometimes on stage is when you feel the most alive, that those are the moments that, really are kind of the most transporting for you.
It is. Just being off stage is difficult for me being on stage, either writing music or writing poetry and being on stage and watching cartoons are my favorite things to do in the entire world.
Uh-huh.
That's what brings me to life. I love that. That's what inspires me to do what I do, you know.
Excellent. We have a question here from someone's calling himself the best dancer in the world. Well, we got you on the line. I'm not sure that we might have to contest that a little bit. But anyway, the best dancer in the world wants to know. MichaelJackson.com said that Jay-Z will appear with you on the new album. Is that true?
No, but we are talking about doing something in the future together.
Is Jay-Z an artist whose work you've liked, or as a person? Have you spent time with him? What's your impressions of him?
I think he's excellent. He's incredible rhythms, counter rhythms, and he's just one of the newer contemporary artists that the kids really love. He's really, really great.
We have a question here from Sweden. Tony from Sweden writes in and says, "Hi, Michael. You're the most amazing artist of all times. I just love your music. Do you want to tour, and will you do a world tour or a European tour?"
We haven't thought about it much right now, but I don't want to say it's not in the works. We're concentrating on a lot of different things right now, so I can't quite say.
Fine. I wanted to ask you.
You know what? In the near future, I'm sure there'll be something that'll come up in the near future.
People should keep their eyes open for announcements on that front.
Yeah.
We have a question from Nuria. Describes him or herself as a 32-year-old Spanish fan writing from Los Angeles. Would like to know if you have any plans to release any of your songs in Invincible in Spanish or any other language besides English.
As of now, we haven't, but that would be a great thing to do. We haven't written that off because it's a big market. So that's a great possibility.
Especially for someone like yourself who has a big international following. For many people, their following is in England or in the U.S., but your following is very international, obviously.
Thank you.
Talk a bit. One of the things that was kind of a little bit of a sensation this year was Alien Ant Farm's cover of Smooth Criminal. I wanted to see if you'd paid attention to it, and if you enjoyed it or how you felt about it.
I saw it and fell in love with it.
Excellent.
I loved it. I said, I just got to have this come out. So they wanted my permission. I saw it and I approved it, gave it a AAA, said go right ahead.
Fantastic. It must be interesting as a songwriter, to have other people, do your songs or come up with another interpretation. What is that like?
It's a great compliment. It's a wonderful compliment. It makes you feel worthy and that your music is reaching all the different generations, and all the different, everybody's out there listening, and that makes me very happy.
Now, we have a question from Canada. Gary, who is 19, writes in, what other artists did you collaborate with on Invincible?
What other artists did I collaborate on Invincible? Let me see. Who is there?
Do you have any special guests?
We have Carlos Santana.
Fabulous.
He and I have done like a duet, and he plays the guitar and I sing. And it's something that we've written, and it's really, really a nice song.
Now, had you known him from, over time, or did you meet him recently?
I've met him before, but we've been talking a lot on the phone recently. So after winning his Grammy Awards, he said to the press that he would like to meet me, and he's ready to work with me. So everybody's been telling me that, and I called him up, and he said he really would, that would be his dream come true. And he is the nicest man. He is so kind and so spiritual. I found him to be so humble, so I said to myself, we have to make this work.
And so you wrote a song together?
Well, there's a song that myself and two other people wrote, and he was a part of it. And whatever happens.
Oh, okay. We have a question from Anicia. It says, Michael, are you a fan of Chris Tucker? She describes it being in your recent video.
I'm a huge, huge fan of Chris Tucker. He makes me laugh so hard. I've seen all of his films, and he's just a funny guy. And I like people who can make you laugh without using vulgarity or bad words. It's just, and for the kids, they're for all demographics, all the corners of the earth, and he's